Hey guys, I'm going to go over lessons 3 and 4's homework tonight because we combined those two lessons today. So we're going to do the first page from each lesson's homework. So we're going to start off with lesson 3, and it says decompose each fraction model by a tape diagram as a sum of unit fractions. And then we're going to rewrite it as a multiplication sentence. So in this first one that they've done for us, the whole is made up of 3 parts, but only 2 of them are shaded in. So that means that 2 of the 3, or 2/3, is being represented. So really that's just 1/3 plus 1/3, or you could say it as 2/3 equals 2 times 1/3 because it's 2 groups of 1/3, just like we learned today. So here, let's try it here. So this whole is broken into fourths, but only 3 of the fourths are shaded in. So we need to represent 3/4 as 1/4 plus 1/4 plus 1/4, or in a more quick way, we could say 3/4 equals 3 times 1/4 because it's 3 groups of 1/4. Okay, on C, we have the same situation, just a different fraction. Looks like this whole is made up of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 parts, which makes it fifths, and that looks like there's only 4 of the fifths shaded, which means we're going to decompose 4/5. And if I were to add, it would be 1/5 plus 1/5 plus 1/5 plus 1/5, getting all 4/5. Or in a more quick way, we could say 4/5 equals 4 times 1/5. See the pattern there? All right. And then on the last one, this one is made up of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 parts. And that means this is sixth, and it looks like we only have 5/6 shaded. So we're going to represent 5/6 as 1/6 plus 1/6 plus 1/6, all 5 times, plus 1/6 plus 1/6. And then as a multiplication problem, it would be 5/6 equals 5 times 1/6. So now that we make that connection, multiplication is a little bit easier. Okay, now let's look at the first page of lesson 4's homework. Okay, so the instructions say that the total length of all of these tape diagrams is 1. We're just going to assume that, and that we're going to take the fraction that they give us, so it's a little bit more complicated than the last one, and we're going to decompose it in our own ways, like we practiced with the fraction tiles today. And so they've done an example for us, so let me show you kind of how this works. This is a half, and that's half of the bar, right? Well, they took that half and they split the half into thirds, but really, since it's half, if you split the whole thing, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 total parts. So really, a half is the same thing as 3 groups of 1/6. So I've split the whole thing into 6, and 3 of those 6 take up the same space as a half. So you could say 1/2 is equal to 1/6 plus 1/6 plus 1/6. And you can do this with any number. So again, I'm splitting the half. I split the half into 5 parts, so I have to split the other half into 5 parts. And altogether that gives us 10 pieces. And so that tells me, okay, well, 5 of the 10 pieces take up the same space as a half. And this is going to lead us right into equivalent fractions. But 5 of the 10 pieces take up the same space as a half. So 1/10 plus 1/10 plus 1/10 plus 1/10 plus 1/10 equals a half. And we're going to do the same thing here with fourths, and they've already kind of split it for us where they wanted us to split each fourth in half. So altogether that's 8 parts. So a fourth is the same thing as these 2/8 added together. So 1/4 is equal to 1/8 plus 1/8. Same thing here, except they split the fourth into 4 pieces. And if you do that all the way across the whole, you get a total of, when you count them out, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So there's actually 4 of those 16ths that fit into the same space as a fourth. So 1/16 plus 1/16 plus 1/16 plus 1/16 equals 1/4. Okay, now on the last two, we can split them however we want, but let's look at A. So it looks like here that 3/4 is being represented. So I'm going to write 3/4 right there because 3 of the 4 are shaded in. And then I'm going to split it however I want, but whatever I do to one piece, I have to do to the rest. So let's say I'm going to split each of these 4s in half, which gives me a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 pieces. So really, each 4th is equal to 2/8 that are added up together. So now that I have 3/4, I'm going to say an eighth plus 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 an eighth. So really 2/8 for every 4th. And I'm going to get 3/4 is equal to all of those eighths added up. I'm going to do the same thing here again, but we got to split it even smaller, so I'm going to do it another way. Instead of splitting each one in half, I'm going to split each 4th into 3, which gives you a grand total of 12 pieces when you count it out. So each 4th is equal to 3/12, but I'm going to add up all the 12ths to equal these 3/4. So 1/12 plus 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 1/12. Really 9 of the 12ths is going to give me 3/4. And you can go back and check to see how many of the 12ths are actually in the shaded area, and when you count, it should match the number of 12ths in your addition equation. And you could rewrite that as 3/4 equals 9 times 1/12, but we're going to merge those together in the next lesson. All right, this is 4/5 on both of these. 4/5 is shaded in. And we're going to do the same thing. You really could split it as small as you wanted, but I'm just going to split each 5th in half here, which is going to make them each little piece a 1/10. So 4/5 is equal to 1/10 plus 1/10 plus 1/10 plus 1/10. Really 2/10 per 5th. So when I add all these up, I should have 8/10 equals 4/5. Okay, and we're going to do the same thing again, but this time instead of me splitting each 5th in half, I'm going to split it into 3 equal pieces, which will give us, now I've split the whole into 15ths. So for each 5th, there are 3 15ths. So you can imagine that's going to take a lot of 15ths when I add it up, but that's just what I got to do for now. So 4/5 equals 1/15, and when I add it, I think it's going to be 12 times, because it's 3 15ths for every 1/5. And again, you can go back and check when you count all the pieces that are shaded. So you have those 4 big pieces, and each of the big pieces are split into 3. So that should be 12 smaller pieces. And again, tomorrow when we start learning more about equivalent fractions, we'll make this a little bit easier. If you have questions, let me know. Thanks.